This is the OnePlus 6T, what OnePlus dubs as your way of unlocking the speed you need. This is the Samsung Galaxy S9 Plus, what Samsung calls as the camera reimagined. The idea of comparing two of the best Android phones of 2018 at this time of year is truly enticing. One is famous for being really aggressive about pricing, and the other is famous for becoming really affordable after it ages. So let the games begin. I'm Jaime Rivera with Pocketnow, and this is OnePlus 6T versus Samsung Galaxy S9 Plus. If you're in the United States, you probably noticed just how much fanfare was given to the OnePlus 6T for finally making a launch in a US carrier, and we're also sure that it makes you wonder if it's worth considering over an already established product from Samsung. Visually, both devices aren't really that much different, and you might even think that this portion of the comparison belongs to the Galaxy given its added premium, but it's actually the other way around. See, the OnePlus 6T doesn't just launch with a fancy treatment in the glass to make it less prone to fingerprints and smudges, but this is Gorilla Glass 6 versus Gorilla Glass 5 on the Galaxy S9 Plus. We also have better dimensions on the 6T, which is 1mm smaller, 1mm wider, and less than a millimeter slimmer, and 4 grams lighter, all while sporting 200 mAh more of battery than the S9 Plus. And then internally, even if we have the new Qualcomm Snapdragon 845 on both devices, the 6T can extend to 8GB of RAM versus the standard 6 on the S9 Plus. It starts at double the storage at 128GB versus 64, and has way faster charging than the S9 Plus. Yes, the Galaxy does have expandable storage, but the 6T is dual SIM if you choose the international variant. Really, the only spots where the S9 Plus wins is in sporting an IP rating for water and dust resistance, where the 6T is splash resistant but no rating was provided. Also, with the inclusion of wireless charging, which the 6T doesn't have, and oh yeah, the Galaxy S9 Plus does have a headphone jack, where the 6T doesn't. The Galaxy does include a more immersive experience for consuming content though. We're talking Quad HD Plus resolution versus Full HD Plus. We're talking curves all around this gorgeous infinity design as well, and we also have more features being supported like HDR10, where the 6T only claims the DCI-P3 color gamut. Where the 6T wins is in having a larger display at 6.41 inches diagonal versus 6.2 on a slightly smaller body, but then the S9 Plus swings back with the lack of a notch and stereo speakers, which improve content consumption. iPhones are loved for a few key essentials that Apple has nailed ever since. As for biometrics, the Galaxy has the conventional fingerprint scanner at the back and an iris scanner at the front, but the OnePlus 6T makes the Galaxy look really old with its on-display fingerprint scanner, along with one of the fastest face-to-unlock features that we've tested. Hardware is really tight between the two, but I do feel that the 6T wins in a few more key areas than the Galaxy. As for the software, let's just call the OnePlus 6T the winner one more time. I know that there are some of you that like Samsung's Experience UX, but there's a reason why the company is teasing a new UI at its developer conference. This approach is already due for a change. Sure, it looks fancier, and yes, I do love the denser grid of icons. Yes, I also do praise the Edge menus, which I depend on constantly, but the major problem is that all this fancy stuff comes at the expense of it being stuck way behind in versions of Android. I'm actually one of those people that doesn't really say, oh, I prefer stock Android. At least not for the aesthetics though. The reason I do care is because it's easier to update, as the OnePlus 6T is already rocking the latest version of Android Pie. It already confirms to the new Pixel pill gesture navigation approach, and it even brings its own gestures, which I consider to be better, and which the Galaxy doesn't include. If software updates, speed and performance, and simplicity are your cup of tea, then the OnePlus 6T is the winner, yet again. Now, in all fairness, I can't really say that I notice any crippling lag on the S9 Plus, even with all its bloat. The 6T does navigate menus faster simply because there are barely any animations, but even when playing games, both devices perform great. Also, if an essential like battery life is what you care about, then let's give the crown to the 6T. I did this funny test the other day where I put both devices off the charger for a full day without touching them, and the OnePlus 6T was still at 80% battery, while the Galaxy S9 Plus was scratching 30. There is seriously just too much going on in the background. And then in regular use, the 6T ends the day with enough juice to give me an extra one, while the Galaxy S9 Plus ends the day fine, but you'll need a charger every night. And then when it comes to phone calls, both devices perform great. Data speeds are also fantastic, as both devices on the T-Mobile network are using the same modem from Qualcomm, which performs awesome. Now, where the Galaxy S9 Plus defeats the OnePlus 6T is in the camera. You'd assume that the newer 6T would win this one, but it seems that Sammy has been hard at work in updating the S9 Plus to be on par with the Note 9. For starters, the S9 Plus has better specifications, thanks to a 12-megapixel camera with dual f1.5 or f2.4 aperture, a 26mm equivalent, and 1.4 microns. It also has a 12-megapixel f2.4 telephoto with a 52mm equivalent and microns that are standard sized. The 6T, on the other hand, has a 16-megapixel camera at f1.7 aperture, a wider 25mm equivalent, but only 1.22 microns, meaning that it won't capture as much light in dark scenarios. And I won't even waste your time about detailing the secondary camera, as it's more an assistant. During the day, photos are great on both, and you'll even have a hard time telling the difference. In backlit scenarios, I do have to praise OnePlus for its great dynamic range, even if I feel the Galaxy does a better job at capturing detail. The problem is once you stack both phones in low light scenarios. Surely, the OnePlus 6T has Nightscape for long exposure, but even that does not compare to the Galaxy S9 Plus. You simply can't beat physics with larger microns, faster aperture, and a larger sensor. The S9 Plus really owns low light to an insane degree. Portrait photography is good on both devices, with the 6T rendering more natural results in my opinion, but the S9 Plus wins in having the option to toggle how much background blur you want or none at all. When it comes to video recording, I like the results on both devices. Great stabilization, great detail, though I drift more to the 6T when it comes to it being less warpy, and then more to the S9 Plus for its color. Though selfie video is owned by the S9 Plus because it has the added advantage of 2K resolution, where the OnePlus 6T is stuck at 1080p. To conclude, I think it's fair to say that this is a very close call. Sure, the OnePlus 6T has the better specifications in some areas, but the Galaxy also beats the 6T in others. I do prefer the software approach of the 6T and the battery life, now that you can subsidize the OnePlus 6T on T-Mobile and that there are some insane deals for it. The pricing makes this comparison even more challenging, as sure you can find deals for the Galaxy, but they aren't as aggressive as for the OnePlus 6T. We do have to call a winner though, and if this were my money, I'd give this comparison to the OnePlus 6T. I feel that you're getting more value for your money, and a more future-proof product for the long run. The Galaxy S9 Plus is still a great phone, a fantastic contender, but even with the current deals, the OnePlus 6T makes the Galaxy look overpriced. Definitely a better option in my opinion. How about you? Which one would you pick? Let us know in the comments, and while you're at it, make sure you follow us on social media and subscribe to both our channels, English and Spanish, for more videos like this one. You can follow me on Twitter, Jaime_Rivera, on Instagram at Jaime Rivera. Please give this video a thumbs up if you like what you saw. I'm Jaime Rivera. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you on the next one.